We have got Jamie. Hi, Jamie. You okay, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
Good, man. I'm really not sure where I'm going to go with this because it's a proper spur of the moment idea. Um,
Yeah, I'm not
but
too bad. That's bad.
well, the idea was it was going to be like a conversation about experiences on Twitch. Now, I don't think I could name anybody that mods for more channels than you. And the thing is, like, you're there for every single one of them all of the time. My first question is, how the fuck do you do it? How do you get to everybody?
I don't make nothing.
Say again, sorry, mate. So, myself, uh, I got into Twitch just simply out of boredom, to be fair. It was during lockdown, and it was not long after Resident Evil 3 remake had come out, and I was smashing the shit out of it. I mean, I was proper smashing it out. Um, really figured the game out. Um, really got used to it. So what I decided to do was stream it on YouTube as like video tutorials. Like this was far before I started speedrunning. So I did it on YouTube. I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did every single difficulty as a YouTube stream. Played through it all, beat it all, and then my sister told me about Twitch. So yeah, fuck it, why not? Signed up for an account, started watching a couple of people. Very early on, I started to. Well, I met Amber, I met Matt, I met Jamie. Yeah, I met a lot of very good people very early on into my Twitch stream. I think I got. I'm pretty sure it was. I, I want to say it was within about 3 weeks or so that I got affiliated, something like that. It was it, in comparison to what it normally takes, like it was very quick. Liam, I do have a sister, yeah. She's called it. In fact, you know what? Let me see if I can get hold of her because I know that she's got Discord. Whether she'll come in and chat or not, I don't know. In fact, you know what? Fuck it, let's ring her. So either way, you're gonna get to hear her. I will, in advance, apologise for the profanities that you're probably about to hear. You're muted on the. Oh shit! Yeah, yeah, I am actually. Yeah,
Welcome to the EE voicemail. I'm sorry, but the person you called is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
we've got the fucking
After you
voicemail,
finish your
guys.
message, just hang up. Or to hear more options, please press 1.
You are a total ball bag.
There you go. I can
You
hear you
also
now.
need to get out of work and like get into Discord. Bye. Love you. I'm not normally that polite to her. Right, so that'll explain the silence. So what I tried to ask you before, Jamie, was like I've known you on Twitch for a very, very long time. It's got to be going on 2 years now. I mean, I've been streaming for nearly 3. And,
yeah, it's going on 2 years.
And in that amount of time, like I've seen you mod for so many different people. Like, it's unreal the amount of people that you mod for. But what makes it even more unreal is you're always there for every single one of them. Like, how do you do it?
It's because I'm at home most of the time, and obviously with time zones, because some of the streamers there in America, so it's like sometimes they'll go live about what 10 o'clock, 11 our time, so it's easy for me to be there. You know, so I'm at home most of the time anyway, so I just watch and then help out.
No, that's fair. Like I remember asking you to be my mod, because you. I remember even before you were a mod, like, you were always there. Obviously, as a team member and a community member, like I genuinely cannot remember the last time that I had a stream where you wasn't present at some point. We're probably going to be going back, like, Christ, probably for about 2 years. I'm pretty sure since I've known you, any time I've gone live, you've been there, and you've at least made a point of coming in and saying hello and whatnot. What was it? Who was the first person that you modded for?
Oh god, you're going back years. So this is like back when I was on YouTube. So you're going fucking years ago. The first one that was actually a mod for was Pixel Tree, which, like, he was a YouTuber. He was on YouTube at the time. That's years ago.
Oh, okay.
So I was what, 18 around then when I was on. So I was about 18 back then.
Right. Okay. If we take the team out of the equation, because the answer to this question will probably be like team bias. So if we take Team RPD completely out of the equation, who's your favourite streamer to watch?
See, I watch Big Boss Incarnate, where he does Resident Evil on YouTube and Twitch. So he's the one I mostly watch, because I spent roughly 5,000 hours watching him.
Wow. That's a lot of hours.
Yeah, so when I first started watching him up till now, I've probably spent over 5,100 hours watching. That's how long I spent watching.
Well, see, for me, I'm kind of split between 3. Like I say, if you take the team out of the equation, I'm split between 3. You've got Subsonics, he's a ridiculously good Resident Evil 2 runner. He does knife only, Zoolander, no damage. He's a fucking fantastic runner, but he's just so chilled out about it. Like, when you see him fail a run, it's like, oh, all right, reset then. Like, obviously, when you see me fail a run, like with RE3 before, I get really angry about it. I'm like, for fuck's sake! And you watch Sub, and he's just like, oh, fuck it, yeah, I got bit, right, let's restart. Another one is Prismatic Kitsune, who's, again, a no damage runner. Me and
Kitsune, I've watched her do it for a few is it the RE2 remake one? She does them now and then.
Yeah, I think she does. Well, she was doing Leon A standard for a while. No new game plus, doing it completely vanilla, And she was grafting at it for. And to be fair to her, she was grafting at it for a long time, and she hit it.
She was.
And I'm fairly sure when she actually hit it, she cried on stream. She was that proud, and do you know what? I was proud for her. Like honestly, I can't sing her praises enough. Also, on a personal note as well, like we've spoken outside of Twitch, we've spoken on a personal level and whatnot, and she's become a very good friend of mine. And my third, Soul Signal, and I mean that guy is just, he personifies chilled out. He's another no damage runner. And he's done so many of them. He's done the trilogy OGs. He's done Code Veronica. He's done 4. I think 4 is what he's building at now. He's building at 4 on professional mode. He's done 7 on Madhouse no damage. He's done Village on hardcore no damage. I mean, the guy is insane. Like,
he is insane. I've seen a few of the runs that he did, like the no damage ones.
Oh, for me, without any shadow of a doubt, he is the most methodical Resident Evil player that I've ever had the pleasure of watching. Without any shadow.
He is. I've seen a few of his runs, and they're actually fucking quite good.
Oh Christ, he's phenomenal.
He is.
So, we're going to take something else out of the equation now. So, we've took Team RPD out of the equation. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take Resident Evil out of the equation. What would be your favourite game, either as a player or a viewer?
See, I don't do Fortnite. That's just not for me. So it's mainly Call of Duty and Gran Turismo. Like, or Monster Hunter. Like, I watch them now and then because they're like some of the games that I've played. So they're more things that I'm into. But like, I've gone off COD. It's just I can't be arsed with it anymore. So I mainly stick to like Gran Turismo and Monster Hunter, because I know the Monster Hunter Rise is coming to console for like PS4, 5, Xbox One, and then it's coming out on the 20th of January. It was originally a Switch game, but it's now coming to PS4, so that'll be the next game I'm getting into until RE4 Remake comes out.
See, for me, if I wasn't a Resident Evil runner and I was to stream anything else, I think personally it would probably be Final Fantasy. The only thing that stops me now streaming Final Fantasy is, unfortunately, for an absolutely fantastic game, it's got a very toxic community. And when it comes back, Dean will be able to vouch for this. So, my first ever 24-hour stream, I did Final Fantasy X. Like, literally started straight through. Because, like, you can get, like, Final Fantasy X, you can get, like, easily 100 hours out of it if you do everything that there is to do in the game. There was a guy coming, and I was at the Unalesca fight, and he comes in. Why are your levels so low? I'm like, well, I'm just playing the game casually, mate. I'm just having a laugh with some friends.
Yeah.
Oh, you're really bad at this game. I can beat this game in 5 hours. So well, no, you can't, because the world record's 10. Oh,
yeah.
No,
From
well,
what
if you do this and you do that, I'm like, yeah, bollocks. Right? Well, why don't you do it and submit it? Oh, because I don't want to. I don't want to show how I can do this. It's like, yeah, come on, stop chatting shit, mate.
Well, if you're saying things like that, at least back it up, not just go, "Oh, I've do it this way, that way, that way." Why don't you show people that you can do it that way, and then prove it?
Exactly. And now don't get me wrong, like, everybody, well, obviously everybody in the channel knows what I'm like, right? I talk a lot of shit. I just talk a lot. That's my mantra. But if I'm gonna say, like, for example, I'm gonna get sub 47 in Resident Evil 3. Alright, I've not got it yet, but you will guarantee that I will get it. Like, if I'm gonna say I can do this on a game, then I'm not going to say that I can do it unless I know that I can do it. Like when I was saying that I could beat Code Veronica in less than an hour and a half, and now I'm nearly beating it in less than 80 minutes. Like, you don't say something unless you can back it up. Do you know what I mean? And especially when you're going watching somebody play that game and throwing shite at them.
Pretty much.
Imagine liking Final Fantasy.
Fucking.
Fuck's sake, imagine being a little boy with a small toy.
Imagine liking that shit game. Always talking shit.
MrRPD! Right, more importantly, right, I tagged you in something on Twitter before. RE Marathon. Either 3OG or Code Veronica rematch. Let's get it on.
When is it? I don't even know when it is.
It's in March, mate. I think it's early March, if memory serves.
Yeah, we can look at something, mate. Yeah, March.
Ah, good man.
Do something.
Right, now, in fact, now that I've got you here, oh Christ, I'm getting chills now.
So don't be too emotional.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll get my willy out now, then, shall I?
Go on.
So obviously we've been talking about Twitch and the journey and all that kind of shit. What I want to know is of everything, what brought you to Twitch?
Well, I knew of Twitch for years because of my brother Vita Moores. So I knew of it when I was, previously working at a different place. So I've knew of it, since probably near the start. So obviously I've always watched my brother. And then I obviously met Tom years ago as well, Tom Payno, and a few other streamers back then. So I knew of it. I always used to come on and off sporadically throughout the year. Sometimes I wouldn't go on for months. But yeah, I had a little go of it, randomly, different, once every 2 weeks, every couple of weeks.
You just killed me.
There was nothing serious about it. Just pop on my laptop, do some classic games, really, like from Sega Mega Drive games to maybe the odd occasional Metal Gear or Resident Evil. But it was never like what it is now. I kind of guess that's what brought me to Twitch. And then obviously when I dropped out to do my masters at uni, I decided, I'm going to take up the hobby a bit more seriously, because I always play games offline anyway. I've always gamed since I was a child. So I thought, you know what, get a PC and then start doing Twitch a bit more seriously. But I needed the PC anyway, so it wasn't like I went out and paid for all this shit thinking I was going to make something of myself on Twitch. It was never about that. I needed a PC, so I thought, well, let's just get it all and get into a hobby, because I had nothing. I decided, you know what, I'm going to work still. I didn't do my masters. I decided the law's not for me, and I wanted a bit of a hobby, really, and this is what it was. And then end up going from a hobby to something else. So there you go.
Nice. That's actually a really good. And do you know what? Something else that I wanted to ask you, because I've been watching you now for, I'd probably say just over 2 years, give or take, something like that. And I've seen you do some like impossible things on the Resident Evil games. You've held world records, not the world records that I get, the low hanging fruit where, oh fuck it, nobody's done that, so I'm gonna go and do it. Like you've held world records in like really competitive categories. Like how do you get to that sort of level? Is it just purely all practice, or what is it?
I don't know. I've always felt like I was a very good player when it comes to controller, the use of a controller. Now, I don't sit here and think I can compete on keyboard and mouse, but when it comes to controller, I've always You know, I used to play competitive years and years ago on FIFA. So you know, I've kind of got that kind of. I think to be competitive, I think you need to have that kind of pace and quickness and dexterity to your fingers. And I know it sounds like, you know, something can come out of this, but you know what I mean. So like, yeah, I've just always had that kind of like, you know, since a child. You know, I was playing games at 3 years old. You know what I mean? I was bred into it, kind of thing. And you know, I did a lot with FIFA. Got to like top 50 in the world at one point. You know, if you ask Cowley who comes in the show, he'll vouch for me. So I've always kind of like had that competitiveness as well about me. You know what I mean? I don't like to lose. So I think having that mindset and, you know, with the controllers. But yeah, I mean, no, a lot's changed for me. I don't like to try and compete again like that because I feel like it takes something off the stream then, the quality of the stream that I like to put on. So it's sometimes, you know, it's not like I can just take that sacrifice and sit there and grind a game like I used to. Like RE2 Remake, I used to sit there back in the day and play it daily, you know what I mean? Like how Snake is nowadays, you know what I mean? That's how it was for me. So, but, you know, I decided I didn't want that. I wanted a bit more, so, yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, I mean, myself as a streamer, like, I look at a lot of other, like, obviously bigger streamers, and I'm not saying this just to lick your arsehole, because I'll do that at I-70, so make sure you're prepared, big boy. In terms of streamers that I look to like try and progress my own channel, and streamers that I admire, I mean, you're right up there. When I was talking to Jamie before and said you take the team out of the equation, the two that I admire the most would be yourself and Soul Signal, who's also obviously a partnered streamer. Is there anybody in particular on Twitch that you admire, that you look to and think, I want to get to that kind of level?
Absolutely. I think personally, I think that may change how far you get in terms of people then you start to look at. And I know that sounds pretty wrong, but that's kind of how it worked for me. Maybe that's just because I've been driven to kind of go as far as I can. But like when I look at streamers and I think, God, that's a really high quality stream, great community, great, you know, from the tech side to audio to the content that's being put out there, and what I like to see myself at is Eternal Enigma, man. He's like the one for me. I look at him and think that is where I want to get to. Because I think he's got everything. He's got that kind of that engagement that I like to put on, that instant chat reaction, bum 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 bum. It's like on point. So that's my inspiration now. You know, and obviously growing on Twitch when I was like, you know, back in the day, I'd probably look at like Lucid Lovers and the Super King Andys and that at the time, because I was already streaming a lot longer than me. So at the time I was looking at them like, okay, this is where I want to get to. This is what I want to do. And obviously, but that changes. But I look at Enigma as like the end game for me. Like if I can put that on, I'll be happy with that sort of standard. But I'm still learning. You know what I mean? Enigma's been streaming for 10 years.
See, the only thing that I'm going to disagree with what you've just said there is when you said Enigma is the end game. Because, like, again, you know, I've been watching you now for nearly 2 years, and
yeah,
I think when I first started watching you were averaging like 20, 30, something like that. And now you'll go live, and within 5 minutes of you sitting there and just talking the poo that you do, you know, by the time you actually get to a game, you've got 3 figures. So I disagree. I don't think the level of Enigma is your end game. I think eventually, if you carry on doing what you do and you keep doing your craft, I genuinely believe that you could go above and beyond that. Yeah, I've seen you grow. I've seen you grow a lot, and to be fair, over 2 years to go from like 20, 30 to, you know, you're talking like, what? I mean, obviously, without revealing too much, I reckon your average now is at least 150, 160, give or take, there or thereabouts.
I mean, it used to be a lot more. And that's what's affected me mentally over the last so many months, because the last few months have been difficult. I won't lie. You know, the average is where I was at is diminished significantly. You know, that's something where, is it myself? Is it Twitch? Is it, you know, is it ads? You know, so many factors to consider, and I genuinely don't know. You know, you just have to try and take the positives out of, you know, I'm still being able to do this full time. I think that's always going to be the life of a streamer. You know, until you've got it completely figured out, you'll, especially the way I am, because I think as a person who I am and my personality and my traits, you know, I'm always trying to progress. I'm very driven, and I want to succeed in the best way. And that's my downfall, I think, because then I get to show that side of me that I don't want to show. I want to show the fun side, the entertaining side. But sometimes things get on top, and then I end up falling out with people because of the way I act or seem to be. See, that's just life, man.
I both agree and disagree with that, because I agree to it with an extent of, you know, obviously I've seen you when you've been on stream and it's not been going so well and it annoys you and whatnot. But you know what? No streamer, nobody on Twitch can say that they've not had that stream that it's just not going their way, whether it be the game or it be the figures or whatever it is. We've all had that stream that just doesn't go our way, and it really annoys us. But the reason that I disagree with what you've just said is I don't necessarily think that that's a bad trait to have, because again, like I've seen the amount that you've grown over the last year or two, and not necessarily in a bad sense, but it's like you're never happy with it. Not in the sense of that you're not happy with your streams, but you get to a level and then you want more, and then you'll get to that next level and then you want more. And I think that's a very important trait to have, because like if you're just going to settle for what you've got, then I mean, you might as well just carry on doing whatever it is that you're doing. Like, and as somebody that also knows you on a personal level, and I know when it comes to speedruns and whatnot, you know, you're not competitive anymore. But again, as somebody that knows you on a personal level, I think you actually are really competitive. Not in a bad sense, but you see somebody doing well, like what you've said with Enigma. You see Enigma and you think, that's what I want. But again, I know you very well. So when you get to the level of Enigma, which I don't doubt, whether it takes 6 months, 12 months, 18, however long it takes, I don't doubt the fact that you will get to the level of Enigma. But then when you get there, you're going to look at somebody higher, and you're going to think, I want that. Let's say, I don't know, Bork. You'll then start looking at Bork and think, I want that. But then you'll get to Bork's level and you'll want more. And that's one of the things that I admire about you the most, is that you get to a level, you set yourself a goal, you achieve it, and then you go for something higher, and then you get it. And from my own personal eyes, that's what I'm now trying to do with my channel. So I'll pick up a game. Unfortunately, I've not been able to stream for nearly as long as what I was able to do like 12 months ago. But when I do, I'll pick a game up. Right, let's aim for that. Like, for example, I've got Resident Evil 3 right now, and you saw the tweet the other night. I was aiming for sub 47. All right, didn't get the sub 47, but I got a PB. Now that I've got that 47.15, I want sub 47. But then when I get sub 47, I'm not going to be happy with that, because then I'm going to want sub 46. Another question I've got, though, is like, obviously you have these aims and you have these targets and whatnot, And I've seen you set targets for yourself that you've absolutely leathered. Like getting to a point where you are now. When I first met you, and if I would have said to you, listen, you're going to get to this sort of level, I think you'd have laughed at me. But you did do. How do you cope when you set yourself a target and you perhaps don't hit it? Or how do you, like what you said before, when the figures are particularly low, how do you cope with that?
Difficult. I don't really mind when I don't hit targets or goals. I just feel like, that comes with the territory, really. If you're prepared to set goals and targets, then be prepared that not every goal is going to be hit within the time frame that you set. I set a goal for the end of this year to have 10,000 followers. I've just hit 9. So, that's how, from the averages and the amount of follows I was hitting per month, should have had me on that target, especially going full time as well within the year that we've had from the career break to going recently, officially. That's just the way it is, Obviously, things have changed. Maybe, so many factors. The thing is, with partners, we get an ads incentive program now. So we play, X amount of ads per hour set throughout the month. That could be a deterrent from people, especially if they're not subbed. But the problem is, now I don't know if that's a cause to what I believe is a dip in my averages over the last couple of months, or or is it simply people are not tuning in as much as they used to because of COVID easements and less more people are doing things, plus the holidays around as well. So you just never know. You just never know with Twitch, and I looked at last year's kind of around this November, December, and I think there was a slight dip then as well. So it might just be the time of year. But the thing is, like, the ads pay. The ads are quite significant, so they do bump up your monthly income when you take into consideration everything else, bits from subs to donations and the odd occasional sponsorship deal as well. So it's kind of like, what do I want? What's more important is the question. I think that's what it comes down to. Okay, I'm not hitting the numbers. I hate numbers. I hate the term numbers. It sounds not personalised. Or do I want to hit a monthly income that me and Abby are going to be okay with? And I think the reality is, obviously, the income's probably more important, and the community that tune in on a regular basis. So I should start focusing on the people that actually give a shit than the people that used to come in no longer do. Do you know what I mean? So it's like...
Oh, of course, yeah. And do you know what? I've seen a lot, mostly on Twitter, to be fair. I've seen people complaining about partners running ads and whatnot. And for me, obviously I never get it in your channel because I've been sub for fucking longer than I actually remember. But if I'm sat in your channel, as somebody that knows you personally, and I get hit with 4 minutes worth of adverts within the space of an hour, then I'm not asked about that, because the fact of the matter is, this is more than just entertaining people for you. This is your livelihood. It's paying your mortgage. It's paying your council tax. This is what you do for a living. And with all due respect, you're fucking very good at it as well. Now, my own personal eyes, and I know obviously if numbers are down and whatnot, it's very disheartening. But for me, if somebody comes into, if I was in your shoes, and obviously it's easy for me to say because I'm not in your shoes, but if somebody from my eyes came into your channel and wasn't willing to sit there and watch a couple of minutes worth of adverts for 8-9 hours worth of, again, without blowing smoke up your ass, somewhat good gameplay, give or take. But to sit there and watch somebody that is really entertaining for 8 and 9 hours, and you're going to complain about a couple of minutes worth of adverts that is then making them be able to live their life, I'm sorry, but I don't understand why you would complain about that.
Yeah, it's just, obviously I feel like I'm very, I've got my stream looking to a point where I'm quite happy with the way it looks. I've invested significantly to get the stream quality up there. And then obviously with the entertaining factor as well. I feel like, I think that what hurts the most at times is that I feel like at this time now, where I was a year ago, nothing's changed, but I feel like I should have been a lot further ahead now. And I feel like I've got the quality to offer that, and I feel like what more can I do? I'll work my ass off.
See, again,
I'll work my ass off, mate. Like harder than a lot.
With that same point, I both agree and disagree, because I reckon if I could get a hold of your statistics now and then rewind 12 months and show you and say, this is what you're going to be getting in 12 months' time, I reckon you'd have snatched my hand off. But you've got it now, and you think that you can get better, and you think that. I know that. I know that you have got a lot more to offer. Like, I'm going to be... I'm actually going to clip this, and I'm going to send it to you when you get your 4-figure average. Because, like, again, not blowing smoke up your ass, I genuinely believe that you're capable of that. Like, I look at the likes of... I mean, to be fair, I say that I look at the likes of Bork and, the big boy streamers. Keeping this as non-controversial as I can, I don't particularly like watching them, because I've watched Bork a few times, and don't get me wrong, Bork's an absolutely fantastic guy, and I completely understand why it is, but like, I could say something in Bork's chat and it go completely unnoticed, and I could do it again a couple of minutes later and it go completely unnoticed. Now, I've seen you, don't get me wrong, obviously not with the kind of figures that Bork pulls, but you've got like a couple of hundred people watching you, and I see you keeping up with almost every single message. Now, when I get over 20, I struggle to keep up with them, and you're doing it with a couple of hundred, and that is one of the main reasons that I think that you're going to get to the likes of Enigma. And personally speaking, I think you're going to go above and beyond, because you've got the gameplay, you've got the interaction, mate, you've got it all. I don't actually know what you've not got when it comes to streaming, apart from bad luck sometimes. And the fact that you don't like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I have to. I'm very grateful. I know sometimes I probably don't show that, but I am. I mean, I am in a position where I'm, financially okay. I'm doing, and I'm doing something more that I feel like I'm excited to see how far I can take it, and I think that's what keeps me going. Yeah, it's mentally fucking hard at times, but it's that kind of like motivation. Like, fuck me, what more can I have? And you got to just keep on top of it. Like, we've got like Katie O'Hagan on tomorrow. We've got these things happening now, but then on to next year as well. So it's like, but no, man, as well, streaming is a lot more difficult when you're trying to make something of yourself than just coming on sporadically, randomly, just to have a little chill. It's a different thing altogether. It really is.
Oh yeah, without any shadow of a doubt. I've had people in my personal life be like, why is it something that's difficult? You sat on your ass playing a computer game.
Yeah,
and
that's
mate, no, it's not. It's so much deeper than that, because for me personally, when I'm streaming, and again, there's nowhere near as much pressure on me as what there is on you, so I can only imagine. In fact, I can't even imagine how much it might feel to you. But when I'm streaming, I'm thinking, right, I've got to do a good run. I've got to make sure that I'm interacting with chat. I've got to make sure that I'm entertaining. But I've got to make sure that this is a really good run. And, you've got to find that balance. And like, I mean, for me personally, I think this is one of the most difficult jobs in the world, because it's one of those that you could put everything that you can into it, and for unknown reasons, for outside factors, it's not enough. And I don't believe that there's any other job in the world that is the same. Like, for my job in particular, I get paid to sit there and speak to people and convince them to, well, basically sort the finances out. That's what I do for a living.
Mm.
And I can go into work and, yeah, there's days where they're not willing to entertain what I'm saying to them. But I know for a fact I can go into work. When I go into work on Monday, I know without any shadow of a doubt, whether I take one call or I take 6, I know for a fact at least one of those people that I speak to is going to listen to me and take the advice, and I'm going to make that sale. I know that for a fact. When it comes to streaming, you could come on, any of us could come on. I'll use yourself as an example because you're actively capable of doing this. You could get any of the Resident Evil games, sit there for 8 hours, grinding the fuck out of it, hit a world record, then beat that world record, and then beat that world record, and you might not get anything out of that. But then people say that it's just, oh, you're sitting there just playing a computer game, and it's so much deeper than that. And I think what really taught me that was, it was actually when we was at Insomnia last year, and I was having a chat with Vita, and he was telling me about when he was partnered and he was doing it full time, and he got the really highs, but then it all suddenly started coming crashing down. And I don't think people realise just how much that can affect you. I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to ramble now. That's just what I do.
I understand what you're saying, mate. I understand what you're saying. But nah, mate, like, you know, just keep on doing what you're doing, man. Like, just enjoy what you can out of Twitch and ignore anything that comes from it in terms of like any shit, really, because there is that as well. But
of course, yeah.
Yeah,
of course.
I've got to go, mate. Sorry, I was only going to pop in for 5 minutes to call you a cunt, but I have got to go.
Right, well, hang on. Just seeing as we're live, do me a favour and just say, Liam, you're a cunt.
Liam, you're a cunt.
That's going to be a soundbite. No, but thanks
I'm
for
going to go,
in,
mate.
Matt.
Abby's going to kill me. I'll see you later, mate.
Yeah, no worries, pal.
Mate.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Take care,
Bye now,
pal.
bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there we go. We got a really unexpected interview with MattRPD. And again, like, I wasn't saying it just to blow smoke up his arse. Like, Matt is somebody that I look to on this platform, and I really admire him. Like, he can be an absolute arse at times, but you know what? So can all of us. And like, I've seen Matt as a streamer. I've seen Matt as a bloke. I can vouch right now. Any of you that have not met him in person, you really don't know him. He's completely different in person. He actually got my son to call me a shit gamer. So, in fact, no, he's exactly the same. He is a wanker. Fuck you, Matt. But no, genuinely, Matt is one of the people on this platform that I look up to the most. He's a very good guy, and when I said to him before that when he's looking at the likes of Eternal Enigma and he's wanting to get to that level, I genuinely believe that he can get there and surpass it. Like I said to him earlier, I remember watching Matt when he had like 20 people there, and now I get a notification that Matt's gone live. I'll go for a piss, grab myself something to eat, come and sit at the computer, and by the time I've loaded his stream, he's got over 150 people. Like, the amount that this man has grown is absolutely insane. And I'll tell you what, if you do not follow MattRPD, then guys, you're not doing Twitch well. Like, you're doing Twitch wrong. Go and follow that bloke. He's an absolutely phenomenal streamer. He is one of the best speedrunners that I've ever seen in my life. And on a more personal note, he's a very, very close friend as well. So go and follow him. And if you don't, then I'm going to get my willy out. On that note, I'm going to go to the Be Right Back screen. I'm going to go for the quick wee. And then we're going to figure out where we're at. We'll see if we're still waiting for Dean. Take care, guys. See you in a minute.
Father! Leave me alone! No, we're getting out of here. Together.
I might be alright, I might be alright. Oh!